Hi, it's JJ Gat. Welcome back to my channel. So it's the Let's Talk About channel. So let's talk about Burundi writer, oh, I can't remember her name, Izayoke. I forget how to pronounce her name. I'm gonna put it here. Who was one of the many people who did think pieces on Beyonce's latest visual album, Black is King. As many of you have known, the album dropped last July 30th. And since then, as anticipated, as what happened with Lemonade, as what happened with Childish Gambino's This Is America, there have been various different articles, think pieces, trying to dissect every aspect of it. That album is, to me, I'm just gonna let you know off the bat, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't really care for brown skin girl. I love brown skin girls. I'm a brown skin girl. I didn't really care for that song particularly, and so I didn't necessarily listen to the album when it came out last year. However, what's brilliant of Beyonce's part is the fact that she released this album sort of like to bring it back. Like, she's always making herself relevant again. Like, for example, when she headlined Coachella, like a year or so after she headlined Coachella, she got the rights to it. She reproduced it, released it through HBO, and had a whole nother, release online with the Lemonade. It wasn't Lemonade. Lemonade with the Coachella performance, and just released it again and added another song on it. So she's constantly, like, she's the queen of repurposing content. Let's say that. So the benefit of repurposing content is you have people who weren't fans or who weren't paying attention the first time to pay attention the second time, and that's what happened. The first time, I didn't really care for for the songs from the not Black is King, from the Gift album. However, from Black is King, which is the visual version of the Gift, I am more engaged because maybe I'm a visual person, so maybe I'm reacting better to the videos. And that's why MTV was good for, just a little bit of history, guys. That's why MTV was good for music, because videos put an extra spin or extra amplification on a song. And when the artist gives you a visual version of the song, you are able to take it in differently, and as you experience it, a different way of experiencing it. So I think it's smarter for her to always take her audio, which people may not initially click with, and do the visual. And that's what she did here, and it's brilliant. So that's just my opinion on that. I'm done. Now, regarding this artist, this Burundi writer, who said that she was saying, be careful with it. And I understand, and I think we can be critical of our creators, of the people who we elevate, our entertainers, the people who put out content. That's part of it, is to critique them, not to just take everything they say and say it's great. And I'm a Bay Light fan. I'll go ahead and say that I'm a Bayhive Light. So I'm not one of those diehard ones, follow her to the T. I've never even seen her in concert, so I can't be a true Bay fan if I haven't even gone and see her in concert. However, I appreciate her work. I appreciate her works from her Destiny's Child days up to now. I have purchased her albums. I'm one of those people that, if it drops on 12, I'm downloading 1201 and consuming it in 1205. So and I would defend her and I will look out for her, but I'm not like one of those folks that if anyone critiques her, I'm going after them. That's not me. However, in this case of this article, I had to take note, and I did wanted to say something about it, because with the author, I get what she's saying. She's saying that what Beyonce does is what the colonizers do, is that she's taking she's amplifying all of the kings in history, pre-colonialism, pre-imperialism kingdoms that existed in Africa up and down the continent, from west to east to south to north. And she is giving back to us all the regalness, the royalty, the clothing, the history of those kings. So she's saying Black is king, that we were once kings. Now, what this author is saying is that you don't necessarily need to be a king to be excellent. And so you want to be sure, and you want to be careful that with Beyonce saying that we're kings, that we are not, of the belief that if you were not a king, if you were not royalty, then you were not worthy. And so that is her point, which I understand. Okay, so that's good. That's fine. My only issue with it is that, why I say that is because that I don't think that's the point of the album. I think the point of the album is to say we were once kings. It's essentially is the narrative that African Americans get about their history has been slavery. Like their history started on slavery. Like they don't know anything. And so their whole existence is started from being in bondage and being enslaved. So I don't want to say being slaves. I want to say being enslaved because it was an act that was done to them. So the blackest king is just a reminder that your history does not start with slavery. And I think that is powerful in that because 2 reasons. One, every black person and every American, when they went through school, learned about European kings. King Leopold, King Henry VIII, and all the various different kings. Queen Elizabeth, who's a royalty. And then what's the other one? Monarch, Queen of monarchy. Anyway, Monaco, Princess Grace. So these are kings, European kings and queens from all over Europe that we've learned about. Also, modern day, there is hero worship over current kings and queens. Queen Elizabeth, Harry and Meghan, even though they're kind of leaving, Kate and William, Beatrice, who just got married. We're constantly still elevating and learning about and almost hero worshiping and following up on European kings and queens. And they're still A-list, all these stories and articles and things, they're still on top of mind and we can name them. You know, you can name, I'm sure you ask any person who educated, went through American system, they can name maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kings and queens. Americans cannot name any African queens or kings. I mean, they can name any African kings. They may be able to know Shaka Zulu from the movie. And because it's been romanticized and had Elizabeth Taylor play it, they'll know Queen Queen Cleopatra, and they may know Nefertiti. That's it. That's 3. But meanwhile, we know all these various European kings and queens. So I think there's nothing wrong. And still today, Beyonce's album doesn't necessarily tell us, you know, give us any names of any particular kings and queens, but she does spark that interest in Black Americans and in Black people across the diaspora who are not in Africa to say, hey, these people pre-colonial periods existed. They were kings, they were royal. And so that gives us, and that can give you as someone who doesn't know, the impetus to go research and find out more about these kings and queens, right? So there's that. So 1, we've known about European kings. So there's nothing wrong with adding some sort of content that's going to amplify African kings because we never learned about Africa. And in fact, the fact of the matter is there's so much pushback from other people, not just non-blacks, pushbacks from lots of people as to why are we elevating Black as king. And there's people like pushing back. It's like anytime anything that's Black, Black girl magic, Black girls rock, Black is beautiful, Black Lives Matter. There is a group of people who are not Black who want to push back and say, what about us? It's kind of like, we know about you. We know about your stuff. Can we not have something to elevate ourselves and say, you know, for a group of people that historically and up to today are demonized, dehumanized, received racist and prejudice, discrimination, and the impacts of that from the back today still impacts today, down from the beauty standards on up, continuing, something can have something to say, well, to push back against all the negative things that we experience in society and culture. This is one thing to amplify us. So people get upset at the effect of having a Miss Black Unity pageant, the effect of the creation of Miss Black Unity or Black Girls Magic or Black Girls Rock or Black Lives Matter is the effect of it is from a cause. The cause is discrimination. The cause is racism. The cause is police brutality. Because of all these things, cause of being systematically ignored and your beauty not amplified in magazines and beauty pageants. So you create because of this, the effect of these pro-Black things. So people see the pro-Black things and get pissed off. But without ever criticizing, why the hell do we get to this point that people need to create their own Black channel? Why do we get to this point where people need to create their own Miss Black Unity pageant or Miss Black America pageant? Why do we get to this point where Black people that say Black Lives Matter? Why are we here? They don't criticize that. They see the effect and overlook at the cause and criticize the effect of it. Anyway, so I digress. The point about it is, for one, it's kind of like, no, let us amplify Black and be okay with that. And let's amplify Black as king and let people know they're more than slaves and that be okay with that. Right. The second point to the Black is King criticism is that, second point is that people are multi-dimensional. You don't necessarily, you can see a Black king and know that, okay, you may not have come from royalty, but your heritage, your people, your kind, were more than just slaves. And that's okay as well. My experience, this is going over 10 minutes. I did not want this to go over 10 minutes. My experience personally is I am born in Sierra Leone. I was raised in America. I went back to Sierra Leone after several years in 2011. When I went back to Sierra Leone in 2000, my dad had purchased a house. They had built a house. And so and in Africa, unlike here in the United States, it's easy to have, we had a driver, we had a butler, we had a chef, we had a groundskeeper for fractions on the dollar because of the exchange system. So when I went to my parents' home, my dad is like the child of a chief, but that was a long time ago. It doesn't really matter. When I went to my parents' home, I got treated like royalty from the people who worked for my parents in that home. Wherever I went, perhaps because of my accent, because I sound like I'm American, people treated me really, really, really well. Like better than Sierra Leoneans who are from there, better than Africans. So if you're American or you're British or you are from the diaspora and you go back to Africa, you do get treated like royalty, like a king, like a queen, like a princess. Even if you didn't descend from a king, a queen, a princess, it doesn't matter. It's because it's like, sister, welcome home. And that is the experience I've got. Treated like royalty, like princess in Africa. You go back to America, after I left in 2011, I had someone follow me in Macy's. I had people question my legitimacy. I had lots of, was experiencing lots of racial discrimination after 2011. So I left the continent where I left there feeling like a queen and princess and went back home to America and got treated bad. So that is the whole thing. You don't have to to know that the point is that in Africa, you are royalty. That's the second point. It's like, yes, that's the second point. And then I have and then for those who actually are royalty, my goddaughter, father is a prince, is a descendant of a Nigerian prince, of a Yoruba, I'm not quite sure what tribe. So when she was 11, she went back to, her mom's American, her mom's my best friend. She went back to Nigeria. When she went back to Nigeria, her mom said, okay, well, you can see what it's like to be in Africa. When she came back, her mom asked her, so how was it? She said, it was great. I had these people follow me. They bathed me. They gave me food. They just followed me around, just making sure I was well taken care of. And, they played with me. They entertained with me. She had an army of like 4 or 5 grown women taking care of her. You think that scene from the first scene from Coming to America when Akeem, had those women putting the petals. One of them was Gabrielle Union, I think, or was it? No, it was Garcelle Bouvet, putting those petals down and doing all this stuff and bathing him and all this stuff. That you think that was just a movie. That happened to my goddaughter when she went back to Africa. So she really is royalty. So it exists. And today she's a college student, 19-year-old rising junior college student today in America, dealing with America things. But in Africa, she was a queen. She was royalty. She got royalty treatment. So she was the actual one. So that's the point of it. One is that it's okay to acknowledge African kings, and 2, irrespective of whether you're an African king or queen or not, when you go back to Africa, you are treated as such. So for people who, when they're traveling, they say, on my travel plans, they only want to go to Greece, which is fine. I want to go to Greece myself. They want to go to Paris. They want to go to France. They want to go to Australia. They want to go to Japan. All places I want to go. They never want to go back to Africa. And when they do go to Africa, they go to romanticized places like North Africa, which is great. I want to go there too. South Africa, which has a lot of technology and they're very advanced, and I want to go to South Africa. East Africa, Kenya, which has the safaris, people want to go to everything, or Ghana. Now Ghana has the Year of the Return movement. And so that's good, and that's a start. And so we need people to see Africa in its opulence and see royalty and see kings in Africa and want to go there, want to aspire to go there and have positive, affirming feelings about Africa. And that is the point, okay? All right, that's it. I'm done. This is going on 15 minutes long. I did not want this to be this long, but I'm passionate about it. So I hope that's helpful for you. JJ Gat. This is the Let's Talk About channel though. But I might post this on my JJ Gat channel. Probably not. Like, subscribe. Oh, leave a comment. What do you think? What's your thoughts? I want to hear about it. Bye.